So, here I am, seated on the back of a chair, naturally, and speaking very lowly because I strained my voice singing about 5 days ago. So, love that. Don't love it at all, but praise God. But no, what I wanted to talk about was this thing I've come to notice in myself, that I live in third person. Like, you're supposed to live first person, like through your own eyes, but I'm always like surveilling and observing, and I am so aware of other people and what they're doing, and which is, it's not the worst thing, but I'm also aware of like how I am being seen by said people, and a word is self-conscious, and I always thought self-conscious meant like, but like just breaking down the word, self-conscious, conscious of self, and I find that I'm very conscious of myself, and I realized it because I do this weird thing where, like, even if I think something is funny, I will suppress the laugh or the smile or whatever would come to my face. I would suppress it, and I used to chalk that up to me having autism, just as an aspect of that. But I realized, like, the flat having not even everyone that has autism gets a flat effect, but some do. I did, and a flat effect is just like having a kind of a blank face. It's not suppressing an expression. It's not suppressing a smile, which is something I actively do, and I caught myself doing. I was like, wait a second, I am actively like pulling back emotions, and I just watched myself, and I realized like how I operate. I do my best to not be perceived by anyone. I do my best not to be seen, heard, felt. I try to be invisible all day, and I'm like, well, that's a problem. That's not great. It's not effective. It's not Jesus. It's a problem. And so when I was consciously aware of that, the only thing I thought was, well, I started thinking about it, and I thought about where I learned it growing up. You can skirt a lot of trouble if you're invisible. If you can't be, confronted if you weren't even seen or heard. You know what I'm saying? So that was the method. But like now, this is not a good thing. This survival skill is not a good thing to keep living with at this point. And so I clocked it. I was like, so this is gonna stop today. And I was like, well, what if I don't? What if I don't pull back said smile? What if I don't try to not exist? It's weird. It's a very weird thing. Like, one would think, shouldn't you wait to make a video until you like have all knowledge about it? And maybe there's a point to that, but like, this is really just a journal. And I very much like philosophy. Like one of my favorite activities to do with my friends, people I love, is just to like stay up very late just talking about things and stuff, and like God, and like just like intricacies, and like, what do we think about this? Sometimes it's super basic, sometimes it's just like, inane conversation, but sometimes it's just like crazy things that like we still like the Bible is so full of mysteries, and like the reality of like death and suffering, and then like, how does this work, and how does this fit with this, and just talking about those things, I find them to be very fulfilling. Anyway, I said it to say that like that's kind of philosophy, which is really not really solid, set down knowledge. Like we have this knowledge. It's more of just like putting forth ideas and thinking about them. And so that's kind of what I like to do IRL. So I'm like, well, why don't I just put it here? Because it's what I like. So, and that's kind of what I'm thinking with this. Is like, I've noticed this thing about trying to be invisible and retract myself from people. I can see where it comes from in childhood. I don't really have a solution for it, but I did clock it. And by the grace of God, I was able to do the opposite of that, which is like, I guess, to be noticed, or not to be noticed. It's to not, to like allow myself to take up space and it be okay. And it's not like I'm not being rude for existing. As you know, probably stupid as that sounds, it's real for me. And like, I'm sure if like you don't personally struggle with this, it's like, okay, bro, like what are we talking about? But like, I don't know, it's like the most profound thing to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I do this like all the time, even when I don't need to. And you know, I'm Christian, so there's like this humility thing. There's this preferring others above themselves, preferring others above yourself thing. This deep humility, and that is valid and that is true. But it's not quite what I was doing. Like what I was doing is very much self-protecting. All that humility stuff that the Bible talks about is not self-protecting. It's self-sacrificing, which is not the same thing as self-protecting. Actually, it's the opposite, honestly. But yeah, yeah, it was just crazy. It's just like to see that I do that, and I've always done that. Mind blowing, and I'm gonna keep working for it. And yeah, maybe I'll have more next week. Yeah, I set out to I'm trying to like routineize. That's not a word, but we'll go with it. Routineize things in my life, because I was like always kind of like what routines. I'm like, I just kind of like go with things and just figure it out. But I realized like I should probably just force myself to have routines, just to have cyclical things, because I'm very like inconsistent. Like I'll go hard and then I just won't go at all at the various different things. So I'm trying to habitualize. That's a word. Habitualize this. Also, when I sung and strained my voice, I was reading into vocal notes, because that's what this feels like. I may not be right, that's what it is, but it's what it feels like. And I read that like people who sing a lot get vocal notes, not people who don't use their voice so often. And I am someone, you know, being autistic, just being the person I was, very, very quiet. I go days without talking to people. So my voice is very underused. So when I started belting, like I could sing, but then I started belting, it was a lot for my throat, for my voice. So I figure maybe making these would like give my voice a little extra experience. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, that's it. Next time, expect something.